There's not a moment that's not a miracle. Don't underestimate what you feel. Trust how you feel. Don't underestimate yourself. Trust this moment. Know this moment is special, is unique. It's on purpose. This moment. It's for you. This moment. Truly being here is where we receive the communications that are necessary for our journey, for our path, for our experience, for our purpose. Required such great work to all harmonize together for us to observe what's before us, the energy that's within us, the connections that we share, the frequencies of those connections, all the layers, and the work done on those layers to make now possible. We're sitting on the throne more. We're returning home more to see, to sense, to connect with. As we experience this more, yes, the paradox remains. It's not that deep. We can chill, we can have fun and keep it surface level, but we also can dive deep in any given moment and recognizing how beautiful it is to be here amongst such simplistic complexity expressed in the physical. The most important moment there is the home of all happiness, the home of joy, the home of the miracle, the home of the opportunity. Now it all exists here. The true jewel, the greatest stimuli. It all exists here. Adopting, acclimating, integrating fifth dimensional levels of existence, awareness, all now. Yes, of course it's happening. That's what we're doing right now. But our wisdom is in recognizing and truly enjoying and appreciating this moment, this path, this experience, this part of the show. Know that even when we get to the fifth dimensional plane, when you consciously arrive in the fifth dimensional plane of existence, understand this. The day you walk through the door energetically is the day you start to prepare for a sixth dimensional existence. The day you walk through that door. So as you can see, the journey doesn't discontinue. There's no destination. Yes, there's a present destination, frequency-wise. However, it continues. The story continues to evolve. And you'll come to realize that it's the journey that's the jewel, the miracle, that's the blessing. The fourth dimensional plane is extremely exciting. Why? Because it's a transitional plane of existence. From the third to the fifth. The fourth in the middle, it's very potent. It's an extremely vibrant place to be when it comes to manifestation, to color, to realization, to expression, especially in the physical. It's the middle of the movie. It's the cusp of change. There's no greater leap in consciousness than there is from the third to the fifth dimension. No other greater leap in consciousness will we ever experience as a soul. Why would we miss out on that anticipating, expecting, and projecting, and not truly being here? Why would we decide to miss out on that experience? The enthusiasm to get there. It's good. We're not taking away from that. Of course, we're projecting and we desire the visualizations that come with recognizing the paradigm, or at least the open nature of such a reality beyond limitation. However, the enthusiasm to be here, to be present, to be alive, to be amongst infinite opportunity is amazing. Amazing. The level of enthusiasm we can express, we can enjoy, we can invest in being here. This is the stuff. Fully invested in whatever's taking place before you. With every ounce of your energetic presence to be here and be invested. Great potential lies beyond all of these perceived problems. We're in the midst of upgrading our reality. So be excited, beloved. Be excited to be alive and to know that life is unfolding for you. You know life is unfolding for you. This is a love story, not a horror movie. A love story that you've designed, that you've created for you. The world at large will continue to reflect the changes that are taking place inside of you. Your focus becomes stronger every day because of the energy that is harnessing. You deserve your energy. You deserve your fire. Your desires deserve your fire. There's a lot going on out externally. The changes that are taking place on all these different spectrums of our society, religiously and politically and economically and so forth. They remain distractions. Yes, they can be observed as validation of the changes that you're making inside. They are validations. They ain't doing nothing but showing you that you're making changes. The stuff that's going on outside, these are all changes that are taking place inside, because it would not happen if you didn't do the work. You're the mechanism of these changes. You're the reason why this stuff is coming out or what have you. You're the reason. It's a hologram, beloved. You're the reason. Observe. Be enthusiastic. Once again, without choosing sides, allow the dramas or the changes that are taking place to excite you, knowing that you are the mechanism, you are the cause of these changes. We underestimated the term or the connection of you being a universe. You are. And whatever you decide to do as a universe, come on, it has to be reflective throughout the holographic reality. You're observing your own energy. You're experiencing your own energy. Always internally. Go to the root of the cause of that which does not resonate with you externally. And weighing ourselves against other people's paths of experience. Once again, all ascension paths are extremely unique. All of them. Yes, we have several base timelines that we can travel. It's just that we're not confined to one particular reality in which that would take place. All ascension paths are unique. You can experience the shift that's the most pleasant, the most harmonious, the most peaceful in nature for you. There's no future set in stone, beloved. We shift the dimensions billions of times a day. That's but an indication of the multitude of realities that exist before us in this now moment. Billions of times a day, we're switching dimensional frameworks. And all of them are truly unique. All of them are different. Yes, they may look very similar because we're shifting from one to the other, just as the spectrum of a rainbow. You don't know where red ends and orange starts, or yellow begins and orange stops. This is the nature of the dimensional spectrum. Of course, the previous is going to look very similar to the one that came before it. You don't know what's happening. It looks as if it's the same reality, but it's not. It's a hologram. All based on your energy. As you change energy frequencies, your reality changes. You get to decide what resonates with you the most. Of course, that comes along with the work, being open to the work that's being presented, to be more present. The future is about probabilities, beloved. Probabilities. And each and every moment there's greater and greater options that are available because we continue to be on the receiving end of greater and greater levels of energy, greater and greater levels of frequency, on top of an expanding awareness, on top of an ever-expanding awareness, greater and greater frequencies being presented on top of an ever-expanding level of awareness. That means more options are becoming available as we exist more in the present moment, in this place of wisdom. The more we're able to be in this space, the greater capabilities we have, the more options that are being presented, to us as individuals on the receiving end of an expanding awareness and an expanding capacity to more and more creative abilities, to more and more manifestation abilities. Truly being present. I spoke yesterday with Todd, and I spoke of how important it was for us to recognize Gaia as our home right now, Earth as our home right now. As you ground yourself here on this planet, you allow for the energies that you're able to receive, the capacity of energy, vibration that you're able to receive depends on how well grounded you are on this planet. If you're not grounded here, you can't receive too much electricity because you'll burn yourself out. It's like hooking up only the red wire to the battery without grounding the energy. You can't receive that much energy. There's a possibility that we can design an even greater timeline for ourselves, being that we're here influencing the reality with greater capabilities and an evolving awareness in the physical. The possibilities are endless. All in. All the cards on the table. All in. There's no plan Bs. There's only plan A. They say burn the ships, burn the bridges so you can't turn back. Burn them so you can't turn around. Ain't no way to go. Rip the rearview mirror out. You only going this way. That's the only way we going. Humility is a part of the calculation. Such a great segue for that. 300,000 oversouls currently present on planet Earth that must be taken into account amongst closely over 7 billion incarnations. Those of us that are awakened, that are progressing at a rapid pace. We decided to go first out of many. We decided to go first. We chose this experience to have the experience of leadership, to have the opportunity to express compassion and humility and empathy amongst our brothers and sisters that aren't there yet. Not to say we're better or older and much more advanced than each and every individual. No. It's a role we decided to play amongst that multitude for the experience, for the awareness. Some souls are only pretending to follow because that was the road, that was the path that they decided to play for this lifetime. So once again, presence and humility, because as we expand our awareness, it's going to get more and more complex. Telepathy is a present aspect of this fourth dimensional reality. We're already doing it. We're already doing the telepathy thing. Sensing the thoughts and feelings of others consciously and subconsciously. Actively. Active participation in that process. Sensing the thoughts and feelings of those around us. Not everybody. Everybody's not doing this, and once again, we don't necessarily sense or connect with the subconscious thoughts and feelings of everyone that we meet. However, as we heal, as we align, as we ground, it's becoming more and more active. Even unawakened souls, they're more so starting to sense it on a subconscious level. Not necessarily a conscious level, but even unawakened souls are granting themselves access to information that they didn't have before. It's scary for them a little bit. We can sense this as well. It's like, what am I feeling? Why do I feel this energy coming off of people? It's extremely new to them. It's available. It's available. Some can actively participate. Some will participate unknowingly. But that's the nature of a fourth dimensional framework. We all can access it. More and more each and every day, we're allowing ourselves to absorb experiences, absorb real experiences, like the emotional content and context of experiences, without having to experience that experience in the physical. This is what these energies are making available to us. Do you realize how huge that is? How huge that is. All being here, all about being here. The fourth dimensional framework. Through being invested and engaged, we're able to pull the content, to download the information, the experience, and evolve. This is something we have access to now. These differences, these experiences are fed into the human consciousness grid. All of that information, all of that energy is being fed into the grid that we all have access to. Here's where we can celebrate our differences. The experiences, the paths, the information, the emotional content to absorb and realize and connect and evolve on such a grand scale. Your essence, your frequency, what brings you joy, your fullness, your expression of who you truly are. That's what you're here to do. That's what you're here to cultivate. That's what you're here to share. This is where beauty exists, real beauty. Immaculate souls, designed by infinite intelligence, your real beauty. You just got to get out the way. You just got to get out the way. All the programming, they got to get out the way so you can shine and be yourself. You being you makes this world beautiful. Without comparison, without assumption, without expectation. Celebrate your differences, beloved. Once again, all paths are unique. Wherever you are, there's a corresponding connection to those lines, to that grid that grants you access to that energy surging through that grid. Access that energy. We have the ability to consciously participate in that process of connecting ourselves with that grid under our feet right now. My feet ain't pretty. I always got my toes out. I'm always in the grass. We're doing the work, beloved. We're doing the work. That's it. We out of our head. We're doing the work. We're engaged in the moment. We're doing the work. We're on the court. We're done talking. It's time to ball. Beloved, we need you to create. We need you to create. We need you to express yourselves. We expressed before that was one of the main platforms of you elevating and evolving your frequency. You access those faculties of creativity. You allow infinite intelligence to work itself through you. You're creating beauty. You become a wellspring of beauty, an expression of infinite intelligence, an expression of the evolving consciousness that comes with you making those changes and doing that work internally. You start to allow for the flow to come out. It's no longer dripping. Now you done turn the faucet all the way and you allowing love to spill out all around you. You're just letting it come out. You got to let it come out. You don't want to hold it. You're adding value through your creativity. Beyond judgment. We balling now. We're creating. We're allowing it to come out. It don't matter how many views you got. It don't matter who buy it or who read it or if somebody look at it or not. It doesn't matter. None of that stuff none of that stuff matters. It only matters that you're doing it, that you wrote it, that you recorded it, that you did it, that you painted it, that you danced your dance, that you sung your song. It only matters that you're doing it. Because once again, everything that you do, it goes into the earth consciousness grid. And you're being of service to the planet. You're being of service to the species. Because you're expressing yourself. The beauty that you have is here to co-create, to coexist, and to share the experience of creating heaven on earth together. It doesn't matter where we at in the world. I can be in my room, you can be in your room, or outside, or wherever you are on the planet. What you're doing is helping all of us out in allowing for this to take place, for allowing for this to manifest. Yeah, we attempt to chase external validation. That stuff don't matter in these energies. It's your vibration. We talked about this before. It's the same as being in love. It don't matter if the person loves you back or they want to be with you forever. No, it's not about that. The idea was about you being in love. It was about you experiencing what it feels like to be in love. That helped your vibration. That was all it was about. That's the benefit of the experience. That's the primary benefit of the experience. You having the frequency of being. It wasn't about the other person and what they wanted to do with you and so on and so forth. It was about you, beloved. Chasing clout and all. We doing it different this time. This time is different. You don't need consensus. Nobody to co-sign you. You don't need nobody to co-sign your beauty. As long as you enjoyed it. They ain't gotta like it. Only you gotta like it. Wow. That was quite the feminine gesture on Big Dog Day. I did this. Oh, man. Here's something to recognize about the dark, beloved. This is about embodiment. This ain't about putting on a show and some superficial awakening, spiritual reality. This is the real stuff. And healing get ugly sometimes when you're really doing it. This is the way I move in my real life. We slip up because we're evolving. We're real people. We're in the process. We're in the game. Sometimes we're going to drop the ball. Sometimes they're going to call a foul. We didn't talk about this before. They're going to blow the whistle on you every now and then. You might slip up and cuss somebody out every now and then. It's a lot of fire. But once again, we're working. We're working here. It's a process. We're evolving. Each and every day we get up and we reach. We reach. We're reaching for the stars. We know that the foundation of the truth within ourselves, but we reaching. We figuring this thing out. And amongst all this darkness, it's a feat to be accomplished. It's quite the feat. But we're doing the work. It's happening. We're healing. Because we're open enough to accept each other and recognize each other as reflections, as equals, as family. We all can be kings and queens in the kingdom. It takes a lot of looking in the mirror to get to that point. These characters that we created, they're just as fantastic as we are at doing their job. Who we talking about? We talking about the cabal. We talking about the villains, the villainous amongst humanity. They're just as good at doing their job as we are at doing ours. Do you get that? We created them that way. Why? They're doing the absolute most when it comes to the distortions that they're expressing amongst humanity. Extremely horrendous stuff that takes every ounce of your being to forgive. We designed them that way. Why? Why would we design them and get them to do the most horrendous things that a soul can do to another soul? Why would we do that? Absolutely. It would require the deepest levels of unconditional love we could ever access to evolve as a catalyst. It would require the deepest level of unconditional love we could ever access to forgive them. That's why we designed it that way. We want the full experience. We want to access all of our energy. It's the hardest planet you could ever incarnate on in a physical form. And it takes a really, 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 really deep level of sophistication and self-love to accept responsibility for creating such an experience and telling them to do such horrific things to children, to women, to families, to species. To accept that, to take responsibility for that. You know how deep you gotta dig to accept responsibility for that? They were supposed to disempower us so much externally. They were supposed to do that. So we had to go inside to find the foundation of our true power. We had to go inside to find our power. Yes, they dumb us down so much externally. For generations, some of us came up off the illusion, the stories they told us about ourselves. Why? So that we'll be willing to dive deep within ourselves to access the deep internal wisdom of eternity. We had to go inside to get it. The lie had to be big enough for us to go inside for it and actually have confidence in it. As a logical last resort, to go inside. It was our last shot. But then when we got there and we realized what it was, we recognized the nature of the illusion. We recognized why we set it up like that. And it ain't that it's too so far-fetched, it's just intimidating. It's crazy to think that you can control your reality. No, that ain't how life works. It is what it is. The government, the police, the military, you ain't more powerful than them. You ain't this, you ain't that. It's crazy to think that. This is truly a grand production amongst friends, beloved, amongst family. One of the greatest orchestrations that Prime Creator has ever established in the physical. It's the greatest story ever told. You're doing much better than you think you are, beloved. You're doing way better than you think you're doing. Unanimously amongst the stars, all the star nations and levels of the hierarchy recognize humanity, and those amongst the awakened community are doing an astounding job amongst the chaos that we're experiencing. An astounding job. Give yourself that credit. The capacity of light that you embody is apparent because of your stability, your willingness to still smile, your willingness to still serve. You've not lost your trust. You've not lost your faith. You've not lost your confidence. You're still here. You're still reaching. You're still doing the work. And you'll continue to do the work. And for that, we are grateful. Truly grateful. You're the leaders of the new earth. The seventh golden age, otherwise known as the platinum age of consciousness here on the surface of planet Earth. And you, beloved brothers and sisters, kings and queens, you remain the heroes in this story. And who we are of the angelic realms of the Galactic Council of the Galactic Federation of Light, and who I am humbly as your brother, Commander Ashtar.